Hi everyone, it's Jonathan Osborne. I'm from Remote Vans, and we're standing in beautiful Tacoma, Washington to bring to you today the brand new 2026 Oasis. It is awesome. If you haven't seen the first two videos that have come out, Darren and Lisa did an amazing job on the T45. Matt Chandler did an awesome job on the Friday. Both of those are incredible videos that are going to give you all the details and the things that are specific within our van lineup. But today, we're going to bring you this Oasis and check out this awesome, awesome van. Okay, as is with all of our remote van lineup, the T45, the Friday, the Oasis, and the new Aegis, they're all on a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter 144 all-wheel drive, fully loaded chassis. All the features that you're wanting, adaptive cruise control, automatic headlights, automatic wipers, crosswind assist, lane departure, all of that is in this chassis, including powered seats, heated seats, the works. One thing we do that not every builder does is we take the factory installed from Mercedes digital rearview mirror. So that's in all of our different models, and it's great because when you have all that gear on, you can absolutely see crystal clear HD TV camera right out the back. In the front here, just calling some awesome new changes. So this is the new Vanhalla front bumper. We also have got, you'll see the front chuck for your ARB dual onboard air compressor, the new wind deflector. But check out this roof rack and the new lighting. Like, it's very unique. It's a design aesthetic that is only in remote vans. Really touches on that sort of futuristic, kind of edgy, angular construction that we love. And you see those themes all the way through our van. With the new lighting, they're angled in such a way where you've got really good light dispersion when you're off-road and at camp. So, of course, we have every wheel well has a deflector. It's a body armor protection piece. And on the Oasis, you've got the new BF Goodrich KO3 275. So we upgrade your tire size on your Oasis and your Aegis. We do upgrade the suspension fully through on the Oasis with the Van Compass Falcon 4.3 suspension system. We do not, on the Oasis, does not have an upgraded strut, but it has the fully adjustable auxiliary shock. And these are nice because the adjustability is sort of an underappreciated feature. In high wind conditions, you're able to stiffen up the shock so that you're able to stay super grounded when you're driving out west or through Wyoming, and they've got those 30, 40 mile per hour winds. This adjustability is great. And of course, as you move off-road, you're going to give that more flexibility in travel when you're getting into an off-road condition. So it's a really nice feature of what we love about that very premium Falcon Van Compass shock. Of course, the new step rail here. Love the new roof rack. You can see, and the new ladder that matches. Very unique design. It's extremely rugged, very durable. I love how low profile the roof rack is. And it's just got a unique design. I've not seen anything else on the market that looks like that. I love it, and it matches all the way from top to bottom. And then what's neat about the way the engineering is done is you can use E-track, L-track, and carriage bolts all through the Vanhalla Accessories. So lots of ways to adapt your components, loot boxes, ski boxes, fuel or water containers, all that good stuff. In the back side, we do upgrade to the full Opti-Leaf spring pack, as well as the 4.3 fully adjustable rear shock. So still on the driver's side here, you do have your 30 amp shore power, as well as your full water connection. If you can fill from here, as well as connect to a campsite water hose. That's a nice location for each of those. Your gray tank is going to be on this side of the van, and your gray tank dump is here. And you'll notice that because it's an off-road, built for off-roading capable van, that gray tank is protected with a full steel box, so extremely durable. This hose that you're going to see on the side here, this is your exhaust for your diesel furnace. That Rixen premium dual zone in the Oasis hydronic heat, as well as your on-demand hot water heating system. But the side pods, so these are new for us. The engineering that went into it was to provide more interior sleep space, side to side, within the pod itself. And we'll get to that when we go inside. But what I wanted to point out was just the cleanliness and the angular look and feel of the new side pod. It's a very unique aesthetic. This makes it only a remote van. We are doing those to just really make sure we round out and keep the same design aesthetic all the way through from nose to tail on the van. On the back here, all of our vans at the Friday, the Friday, the Oasis, and the Aegis all come with a full-size wheel, full-size spare tire. And it's mounted on the back of these brand new Vanhalla rear door racks. Again, with the E-track, the L-track, as well as carriage bolts. So you've got plenty of space on this, where you could put a real full-size loot box or a full, taller ski box, however you want to equip for adventure, bike racks. Love the new rear camp lighting. And of course, you've got controls right here for when you get to camp, for your garage lighting, as well as your rear lighting. And you can see it's a little bit warm today, and so our power box here, we'll talk about more in a little bit, but you can see that exhaust fan is running, and that just keeps all your electronics nice and at a healthy condition without overheating. New feature this year that was not on the 2025 is the external solar port. So now you can add additional solar panels to provide you additional charge at camp. We did upgrade on the 2025 to a 200-watt solar panel, so it's a little bit larger than last year, and it's a single panel. It's a bit more efficient as well, so you're going to get higher percentage of its capacity. Just thinking through the entire electrical equation, these panels are hyper efficient, so you're going to get really close to that full 200 watts worth of inbound charge. One change for this year, as some of our themes, we're looking at what are ways we can reduce weight, what are ways that we can improve all the way through the design. We went to the 8-foot Girard awning. It is definitely a great sized awning, covers your entire camp area, but without it being the full 12 feet, it did provide some additional weight savings, which is nice to have when you're bringing a lot of gear or extra people to a campsite. The new Vanhalla full sliding door step rail, very similar, looks identical to the driver's side, much longer, very sturdy, really nice look and feel. All of our vans, of course, real glass, automotive grade glass windows, and then you can see on this side of the van, on the passenger side of the van, the look of this new side pod as well. Our Oasis and our Aegis lineup now for the 2026. It is new that you're going to have fully upholstered front seats, so your driver's seat, your passenger seat, as well as the Vanhalla Seat, which is our 3-position seat, only one in the industry. And you got a couple different themes. So with our standard blue theme, you're going to have your blue accents on the vinyl wrap, as well as blue accents in the interior and the cabinetry. In areas like this and in the power and cooling box, you'll have your blue accents, and as well as the upholstery. When you move to the dark mission package, which is available on all of our lineup, then you will basically lose the color, right? So the blue goes away. It'll be more of a gray vinyl wrap theme. All of your blue touch points, upholstery, interior trim is all going to be more of a dark charcoal color. So we've got that standard blue Oasis as well as the dark mission package for the Oasis. The Oasis is also available in either the blue gray chassis color or a selenite gray. You can order that as well. So a few things about the camp that have changed, camp side of things. All your awning controls, nice cleaned up display here. And one of the best improvements in this entire area is the new kitchen light. So when you're at camp and you've got your wine and cheese bar, your cocktail bar, your hot dogs and dog treats or whatever you got set up on your campside table, as it gets dark, you've got that nice light. And of course, the awning is lit as well. So you've got two areas where you can have some nice lighting, depending on the mood and the weather conditions, of course. So I also love the way this is done. All these nice little 3D printed parts. They're very high end. They kind of just finish and round everything out. You can see the bamboo trim all the way through and around on this campside table. And then, of course, the bamboo facing when the table's in the up position. We still have our shoebox with 110 power. So if you are going to be cooking out here, or if you just got a blender set up, you know, it's nice to have that electric outlet right there. But also, like most people are putting flip-flops or dog leashes and things of that nature right here. It kind of keeps it from getting all the way inside the van. Nice little area. And of course, everything's finished out with, you know, a nice sort of cushioned felt inside the shoebox. We also have brand new, you know, magnetic entry bug screens. One of the improvements I love about the bug screen is you're getting a little more play than some of the previous models, which is going to keep you know, just functions a little better, but also is privacy. So now both sides, this side as well as the rear door bug screens, have got the extra layer where you can zip and open and just have that sort of no-see-um grade insect screen, as well as the you know, privacy full blackout screen. And then our fridge, you know, it's a beautiful, fully stainless steel fridge freezer combination. And, you know, there's a lot of benefits to having a drawer style fridge. One of them is the efficiency. So, you know, when you open a full normal door fridge, you're dumping a lot of that sort of cool air, and it takes a little bit more power to cool back off. So that's one nice benefit of a drawer style fridge. That's why you see these on a lot of marine applications. But my personal favorite one is it doesn't drop, everything doesn't just fall out, right? So when you're out moving around and driving, you can put taller bottles of different Gatorades, waters, whatever you got with you, cold beers, put everything in here, and when you get to camp, you're not like opening the fridge and putting everything back together. So it's a really nice functional benefit, and it looks good with that stainless steel. Couple things that I'll just touch on since we're here. We have got a full Plascore, you know, composite flooring from right there behind the chassis, sort of passenger and driver area, all the way to the back is a CNC routed, cut, and laminated material with the lawn seal flooring. So this is a marine grade non-porous vinyl, and it goes from beginning all the way to the back of the van. So you're not going to have stains, major scratch or abrasions. It's a very durable material, and with that non-porous nature, you can even have things like oils from mountain bikes, greases, things like that, and it's not going to stain this surface. So extremely durable materials all the way through. And you can tell that this is new. This is a full aluminum galley. Last year, it was a different material. It was that reflect, it was that composite material, the same material that we use in our overhead cabinetry. But now to cut weight, improve design, and create kind of a new look, we've got a full aluminum galley as well as a new aluminum shower base. So the new aluminum galley, dimensionally the same as last year, but couple really nice improvements. So you've got your cutting board, bamboo cutting board, and sink cover, but the sink itself is probably twice the size of last year's model. You still have the collapsible faucet, which is really nice, very easy to drain. And of course, with the new control access here, your sink drain button is just right there. And that's that nice macerating pump. So that's going to push and drive all of your, clear your line into the gray tank every time you use your sink drain function. Hot and cold controls, really nice setup, much deeper, bigger sink. And as I mentioned with the controls, your hot water recirculation button here just kind of jump starts that process. So once you've engaged your hot water, you'll hit that button once, and then that's going to keep it sort of primed within the system. So that gives you that on-demand hot water capability. On the Oasis, you know, now you have two screens. So you have your larger screen over here, and then the 5-inch display where you still have quite a bit of controls, including all of the lighting, the dimming functions, the Lighthouse controls, and your smart temperature control program. So that's a really nice sort of convenience to have that there. Full microwave for, yeah, popcorn, heating up leftovers, all that good stuff. Before we get too much more into the interior, I want to point out the ceiling and the new upholstery. So we are one of the only van manufacturers that will take the time to keep the attention to detail on the ceiling itself, right? So we love this hexagon pattern. And they said, but that's difficult to build. We said, but we love it. So the sales team, we advocated hard because it's a unique feature that keeps it core to the remote van's design philosophy. And the new upholstery, you know, no longer the sort of gray fabric tweed material. This is a real, like, the way I think of it is like a really high-end automotive sort of textured upholstery. And it just looks great. I mean, it matches really good with the reflect light gray cabinetry. Of course, with that 45-degree angle, so you're not always bumping your elbows, your shoulders, or your head into something that is a 90-degree sharp angle. You know, all the details are still intact, right? You're not going to have plastic components around the screen. A lot of our competitors have found ways to reduce cost. Well, one thing about the interior changes where we were able to save weight, we didn't actually go down. We went into even better materials with, instead of mild steel boxes, now we have aluminum boxes. Kept the reflect high-end Italian composite materials with hand-inlaid acrylic finishes. And then, of course, the bamboo cutting board, these brand new drawers, bamboo inlay, dovetail construction, all soft close. We didn't go down to save weight in materials. We went even better, right? And so that was how we've made a lot of those changes. We're at the back of the van, and of course we hadn't even talked about it yet, but I want to debut it here instead of inside the chassis. But this new Alpine audio system, right? Tweeters in the front, door speakers are replaced, subwoofer put under the seat as well as an amplifier, and then 2 rear door speakers. And Matt and I were together. We had this thing cranked at the dealership, and also as we were driving around. It sounds so good when you get to camp. I know when I love to ski because I live in Salt Lake, absolutely going to have the back doors open on pretty days and get a nice little sort of campsite vibe going in the parking lot. But also in the back of the door, it gives you a good chance to sort of talk all about our power box as well as the water box. So the power box on the Oasis, 51 volt Lithionics, 16.8 kilowatt, very large system, 3000 watt Victron inverter, tons of L-track. But what I want to call out is just the attention to detail, right? Everything's trimmed out, finished, looks great. Bamboo, real bamboo on your bed frame, and nothing that has spared expense at this point. So even your fuse box has been upgraded to give you a much more robust fuse system and panel. Everything nice and trimmed out and finished well. You know, no corners cut when it comes to a remote van. So that's all your power bank. And we run all the electrical, right? So you're never going to get out of sync with your screen or your back switches. These are not like 2- and 3-way switches. They're actually, all the wiring is run through a power distribution module that makes sure that the command and control, whether it's the screen or these more convenience lights, is happening in real time on both devices. So that's nice. You do have a convenience of the rear lights in the back here. There's covers on, plus it's super bright. And here's the new solar control for your external port. You've got a 110 outlet, 2 of them here, as well as a 12 volt, which is nice. In the garage, you'll see L-track, 1, 2, 3, 4 positions there. 4 pieces between the 2 boxes. And of course, that garage lighting right there, very handy, especially at night. On the water side, so we have one of the largest freshwater tanks in the industry, 30-gallon freshwater tank. But remember, remote vans, we don't cut corners. So all PEX-A plumbing, all brass fittings. And you can see that visually right here, right? So what's nice about the PEX-A is the durability of it. The burst pressure is much higher than the PEX-B, but these are all brass fittings, no plastic clips. You're not gonna be ripping out your plumbing the minute you get it to have an true all-season weathered van. So really nicely done. Here's your water controls. So standard, fill from the external port, use from your fresh tank, or you can bypass and use city water. And then we also have the siphon system. So if you've consumed your 30 gallons of fresh, but you're still out boondocking or dry camping and you've got 5 or 10 gallon containers of additional water and you want to use that inside the van, you can get a hose here and reverse and use that water pump and siphon it into your 30-gallon fresh tank, and then you can use it as for showers or cooking through your sink. We do have an outdoor shower here. It is adjustable, right? So you can have a nice hot shower standing in the back of the van. And then in the Oasis and the Aegis, you're going to have dual zone temperature control for your diesel furnace. So nice hydronic heat furnace, very high-end system, extremely efficient system. It's only going to consume about a tablespoon of diesel per hour. But you've got 2 fans, and they're 2 primary fans, so you can legitimately control the front or the back of the van, especially for conditions like when you're sleeping at night. If you just want some low amount of radiant heat coming up the back over where you're sleeping, or vice versa in the front. So we do have our nice step here, and of course that onboard air compressor rear chuck gives you good access when you're sort of setting things up in the back of the van. Another thing that's really nice to point out, the bed is in the up position right now. And it's something that I tell people all the time, right? Buying an RV is not necessarily considered a practical thing, but the benefit of the 19-foot Sprinter is that, you know, you can easily take this to Home Depot and buy mulch and wood and sort of day-to-day activities. You can do that when you're in a 19-foot Sprinter van because it functions as a camper, of course, a, SUV, and a pickup truck to some extent, because you've got this full garage area. So it becomes a lot more of a practical sort of use of your day-to-day life with a 19-foot, standard parking spot adventure van. And that's why people love it. That's why the popularity is growing at such a great rate. And so with the bed up, you've got tons of vertical space. But when the bed is down, and we'll set that up here in just a second, our legless bed system, you can still put your bikes, gear, cooler, a griddle, whatever you take with you, can still be down there, and you're not going to have leg supports that are dropping down in the middle of the bed, in the middle of the garage. So that's the back. So inside the van now, it's warm, very warm. So 85 degrees internal and external. And of course our new design, which I very much encourage you, if you've not seen the Friday video that Matt, guy behind the camera right now, did, he did an amazing job walking through all the features. But one that I think is awesome is our new smart controls. And when you pair the power system of a remote van with how we build and insulate the van with our new Solarcore insulation, and the true 48-volt X3 Nomadic air conditioner, that is where you start to see the entire picture come together for you to be able to go off-grid and stay longer. So even right now, and we literally just turned on the system, one thing that you can take a look at is we've got the target set at 68, and this air conditioner is running right now, and it's very quiet. So obviously you could go to manual mode and you could crank the fan up, you could really get it blasting. It's still going to be a much quieter air conditioner than almost every one of our competitors. So it's not running through your inverter, right? So with the true native 48 volt through the 51 volt power system, you're going to get a highly efficient air conditioner. And so just as an example, even right now in these conditions where it's very warm outside, the AC is extremely quiet. It's cooling down the van with a target temperature of 68 degrees. And right now it's only pulling 515 watts. So when we talk about how long you can go and stay with 16,800 kilowatts, and you're only consuming 515 watts from your air conditioner as you're cooling down your van, that's how we're calculating these multiple days of run times with that Nomadic air conditioner, the power system, and then the way the van is insulated to make it even much more efficient. So that is a great scenario and setup that's awesome about the remote van, because we want you to be able to go off grid and stay longer. And when you do need to recharge, of course, you can crank your engine. It's an alternator generator, so it will definitely start charging at idle, and of course very rapidly recharge the van's batteries as you begin to drive. Okay, so a couple other really nice features with all of our integrated controls. So we went off our smart mode conditions and went into manual, so now you can manually or independently control things. We have the vent fan, which is right here, is now pulling hot air out of the van. Can control that from low, medium, and high. And then now you'll still have your air conditioning controls if you want to crank up your fan speed and really get that blasting as well. You've got your eco versus power mode, normal versus humid conditions, and now you can really hear that air conditioner beginning to crank up. And it's blowing nice cold air to help really cool off the van much more quickly. Of course, once you get to temperature, everything will begin to settle down, and you could go into and be more temperature driven, and it'll just like at your house with a thermostat controlled unit. Yeah, and if you want to turn the system off, you can do that there, or you could have hit the actual system is off button right there, and you can hear everything begin to power down. Another nice thing that we do with our sort of home screen now, you've got your Lighthouse function. We do offer a quick exhaust function, so if it's really hot when you get in this van, this is a really well insulated vehicle, so when it's hot, it stays hot. When it's cold, it'll you know, keep the temperature very well regulated. So that quick exhaust is a nice feature. And then, of course, your Starlink controls right there. So if you did have on the Oasis, comes with a Starlink standard performance dish. That is included in the van's price. And that's to turn it on right there. One little tip for all our owners, keep your inverter on when you want to charge, right? So it'll, nice little feature, inverter's on, you're driving, you're easily going to get that battery up to 99 or 100%. Yeah, and then here's your fresh and gray tank. So we do have the sea level monitoring sensors, very high-end sensors. And those are going to give you a good reading there. This would be your hot water heater. And, you know, Matt goes over this in even better detail, which I encourage you to see his video. But love the new indicator dial for the temperature of the glycol tank in your diesel or hot water heater furnace. So as it moves up, right, if you turn this system on, this will tell you when you're getting close, when the glycol is at a temperature, well, it'll begin to heat the van and blow the hot air. And then as it creeps up even higher, that's when you'll have an indicator right there that will tell you that it's now ready to produce hot water in the system too. Okay, let's talk a little bit about our cabinetry. So we do not use cheap plastic components in this van. These are real compression metal hinges. There's no plastic piece here that's going to break off. You can hear the quality in the hinges. All of these, you can literally shake the van. The L-track is bolted to the frame down across here and across the top. The cabinetry is fully aluminum framed, fully finished and upholstered, felt on the bottom to prevent rattles. They're bolted into the L-track. And then on top of that, with your nice long soft close hinges, you have these really nice compression metal latches. And why compression? That means it's pushing against the other part of the cabinetry here, so it's not, you're not going to have rattles and shakes as you're driving down the road. Really nice system, built to last. With our legless bed system, so traveling with the van, the bed set down in, you know, sleeping condition, and you're in good shape. You still have full access to the garage. And it's really straightforward to set the bed up. So if you did want vertical storage, you wanted to get the bed up, I'm going to show you how to take it down. So this panel here, you have two of these posts. One mounts here, and the other one mounts here. So you unscrew these guys, and then you'll put this right here. I like to keep these fasteners right back where they live. Makes it much easier, and you don't ever lose it. So you put that there. And then you'll have a strap in the back. Take that off. Put this one here. Nice and snug. And then you take this strap, drop your bed down. So now we've got our bed all made up. And I just wanted to show you how the legless bed system works. So both of these sides of the panels go up as you saw them previously, and these are these lower rails that you're resting against. Very easy to set up. Once it's in place though, it's really nice and convenient, and you can typically leave your bed this way most of the time because with our legless bed system, you've still got that full access to the garage. Okay, so a couple really nice sort of creature comforts in our bed area. Once the bed's set up, the new side pods, as I mentioned, we were kind of talking about them outside. They're the same dimension all the way across. So you've got more depth at the front of the van and the rear of the van than most other companies' flare systems. So all on both sides here, you can see, gives you a little bit more sleeping room and, you know, consistency. Also, the reading light and the bedroom light. So everything is dimmable on the van. So the bed light, if you're at, you know, at night and you want it a little less, a little more dim, you can, which is a really nice feature for the bedroom as well as the reading light. And then we have quick access switches also. So you've got your reading light switch here and then your bedroom light switch there. So if you did want to turn the rest of your master panels off, but you crawl into bed and you forgot you wanted to read a little bit, you can do that from here as well. Really nice little creature comfort that just makes it a little easier. Of course, you've got your 110 outlets here, great for kitchen use, but also for charging phones or iPads, devices like that. And then one on that side also. So we'll turn the lights back on just so you can see, and then crank that light back up. There's a big difference when you have the van dimmed and kind of set the mood. And you can also do that through the master controls too, where it'll do all of the lighting at once, or you can do them independently, the main light the bedroom light, and the reading light. Another sort of safety feature, but also quick convenience, is our Lighthouse button. So all of the vans on the exterior, including the awning, so your front overhead driving lights, the rear camp lights that are on your roof rack, the awning, if you want everything in the van externally to turn on, you hit your Lighthouse button. Maybe you see that bear rummaging around in the woods, and then you can turn it back off. Okay, so you've been out skiing all day, it's cold and snowy, you want to come in, get settled in, take a quick hot shower, and get comfortable. We have an awesome, very multi-purpose sort of functional use of your entire van space. So a full fixed bath, of course, is going to take up this entire area. And why people love this layout is their ability to take a nice hot shower, but then get it out of the way. So it's very easy to set up and have a very nice, quick, easy shower. You're going to put this up. You're going to drop this guy down. And then your water controls are going to be right here. So you'll connect your shower wand here. You'll have your fresh pump button on. And it's just like a shower at your house. Hot, cold, hot, cold. We have this nice system where you can remove your portable cassette, get your shower, which has really been a nice upgrade this year, with adjustable pressure control. They'll lift your collapsible shower curtain right up into place. And there you can now have a nice hot shower, get cleaned up, all that good stuff. Magnetic curtain, which is really nice. And then the best part about our shower system is instead of having to tuck it back into the roof or the overhead cabinet where it's wet and dripping, you can now just remove it, put it down into your shower box, and then when you're ready to dry it out, because you could just leave it there for the night, say, if it's cold outside, but then the next day, you're not going to be dripping out of your cabinet or having any issues like that, you can actually remove the entire curtain at your convenience, take it outside, and dry it off fully. So the shower base, if you want to take a look inside here, plenty of room, and it's got a really nice feature that if you want to use the recirculation feature, allows you to take a longer hot shower and not feel like you're wasting too much fresh water, especially if you're not at a campsite and you want to conserve as much water as possible. That's our recirculation feature, which is really nice. Otherwise, you can just use it as a regular shower. Last stop on your Oasis van tour is the new Vanhalla Seat. So it's the only one in the industry. We designed it, patented. It is crash test rated, and it is a 3-position seat, which for this layout is amazing. Right now, you know, the law requires that you be forward-facing 4 seat belts for any vehicle under 10,000 pounds, and the gross vehicle weight rating on a Mercedes 144 chassis is 9,050. So in order to be legally compliant, if you have passengers in this seat, you have to be forward facing. A lot of people, though, you know, they'll bring their extra guest and they want a place for somebody to sleep. So you can drop this guy down, lift this guy up, lift that guy up, and now you have a bed. But the really clever part, and what we love about our Vanhalla Seat, is once this is out of the way, you can, you know, the thing about the galley in our competitors' vans is it's really tight. So if you're here and your seat's here, or even when it's in the bed mode, it gives you a little bit more room, but it's still a little tight when you're trying to cook and hang out. But with the Vanhalla Seat, you have a lever in the back, and you literally swivel it 90 degrees out of the way. And it's awesome. And we call that our sunset position, because as you can see, that right there, let's show our audience this amazing view. Just picture yourself finally settled in, got to your campsite overlooking that. I love this sunset position. I've got my Lagun Table all set up, got my laptop out, The only thing I'm missing is a cold beverage of my choosing, and then I can enjoy this sunset position seat and that absolute beautiful view of the harbor here in Tacoma. It's just a great setup for this remote van. All right, so don't forget, every one of our remote vans comes with a full and complete set of window covers. And guys, these are top tier, really high-end quality covers. You've got the reflective back, you know, they're magnetic, and they fit in place for every location and window on the van. But what's really neat about remote vans, you know, we really pride ourselves on power and efficiency of that power. And what's going to be, you know, one of your biggest indicators of how efficient your van is going to operate is going to come down to the insulation. So we do a few things differently. We start our manufacturing build process with a product called Kilmat. And Kilmat is basically going to be canceling the vibration of the aluminum van itself, right? So it's going to tighten up the structure, make this thing ride nice and quiet. And then we lay in a brand new product that is unique and only on remote vans called Solarcore. And that Solarcore goes in these window coverings as well. But it's essentially a technology developed by NASA for the International Space Station. It's the most efficient and the lightest insulation material that exists. And so the person who developed it and for use in an RV application took that technology and made it into a foam that we can actually lay into the van all over. And that's going to improve the insulation of the Kilmat and then the Havelock wool that goes in as the last step by over 35%. So it is the most well-efficiently insulated RV made today because of this brand new technology, this brand new insulation that we call Solarcore. If you have any questions, we have live chat. You can call us at the factory, email. We're available, and we'd love to answer any of your questions. We love to earn your business. So my name's Jonathan, and thank you so much for joining us on this tour of the brand new 2026 Oasis.